I don't really have an introduction for this video. How are you doing? I'm Sean. Do you still remember the poll I made 6 months ago? If you've been following my channel, you would know that I asked you guys what video you want me to make. I have been wanting to do this, and this is to keep my promise. Though there has been a discussion on Reddit, I'm gonna try my best to make this more of an in-depth of looking at this topic. Disclaimer. This is solely based on my research. Excuse me. I may use factors that are not endorsed by the community. Hopefully I don't come across that problem because it would be really embarrassing. So without further ado, let's get this started. To review an anime opening or ending, what does the average person look at? They will look at the animation, the choice of music, the art style, the visuals, etc. But in my opinion, what we should really be looking at is choreography, choice of music, music compatibility, themes, and summary. But before we start reviewing an anime opening or ending, what does an anime opening and ending mean? Since there's no exact definition on the internet, I'll try my best to explain it in my own way. Anime openings are supposed to represent what the series is about, aka summary, not how the story and plot goes. Well, it doesn't essentially has to, it can form around its characters, say if it's an slice of life anime opening, unlike a specific anime. Yes, I'm talking about you, Masamune-kun. Or misleading like Kurenai. If you're a manga reader, you'll be surprised at how much the recap Masamune-kun no Revenge's opening gives. While Kurenai, there were characters dancing. I guess it somehow represents them in a comedic sense, but itself isn't some weird wacky anime. The comedy in the story was normal. It isn't like Nichijou. The difference when you compare the opening and the anime is quite drastic. It's a great anime, it isn't bad. It just has a weird opening. This is my opinion, by the way. What about endings? Well, it can be anything. Being closures, character related, backgrounds, resolution of story path, etc. Let's get to the main discussion. Let's talk about the choreography of anime openings first. How an anime opening portrays the setting and concept, showcasing characters, what they do, how their world is like, etc. The point of choreography in anime openings is to match the music and visuals while telling the premise of a series. Now, what makes a bad choreography in anime openings? Lack of effort in matching animation with music, overused choreography, rushed clips, obvious hints, bad cinematography, inappropriate transitions, and clips that stick out uncomfortably. Probably more that I forgot to mention, so I will just add it in the comments section. Even though I have a script holding on my left hand, there might be stuff that I left out, so if you have any questions, just comment down below. My first example is the anime opening of Enen no Shoubotai. It was lazy, not the animation, but the artistic value in it and the storytelling. It never really mentions anything about the characters. This is why even unique fighting scenes don't make storytelling good.
But they're focusing on the first half section of the anime.
I know how it works, but they even failed that. All it conveys is the characters' abilities and what they do, no background whatsoever. When it comes to storytelling, there are plot and personalities. Fire Force's opening had so little of that. Okay, spoiler alert. It doesn't talk about how people became fire monsters, aka Infernos, what their world was dealing with, the character's background, the evil doings and abuse of power. The ending was so much better. I can kind of see they sort of splitted all those important factors into both the anime and the opening, but I'll save it for another time. Comparing it to Haruhi Suzumiya's opening, it blends personalities, plots, and themes perfectly. If you haven't watched it yet, it would look like character based, but the characters or the plot itself I can go on, but that would be spoiling, and I'm digressing. To top it off, the outro of Fire Force's opening felt forced and absurd. The transition could have been done more smoothly. Now this is just my idea. They could just make the explosion bigger or close-ups on the scene, then fade to the title. But putting the characters below the show title and at their company place shows their importance, which I agree. Maybe if you focus on the protagonist, having the others show up while barricade taping, then the title comes in. Though this would mean sacrificing the cameo of the company, the second opening was so much better than the first. Why do I sound like a pro? I'm not saying I can do a better job at directing, but at least I'm able to criticize. I can tell the difference between what's good or bad, what's better or worse. I keep looking at myself rather than the camera. The second bad choreography in opening example is Overlord, the walking in verse. Not saying walking is overused or bad, they could have done better with more background. Like how Tate no Yusha Nariagari's first opening later shows the society isolation they were dealing in the series, or Konosuba displaying how weak and unfortunate Kazuma's party is in an amusing way. Hope I don't offend anyone, because it's been a while since I last watched Konosuba. Using the same choreography for 2 openings straight is, boring. The third bad choreography of an anime opening example is Arifureta, Shokugyo de Sekai Saikyo. It had bad cinematography, it violates the rules of thirds. As you can see, the character is small, making it seemingly not important. The dark background may mean he was in a depressing situation, but since he wears black too, it's hard to tell his condition himself. No racist joke, by the way. Secondly, it had a bizarre intro. It presents the title, then it zooms in into the title, showing you it once more, but with the protagonist destroying his own show's title. You can also see a half-drawn main character. It will become somewhat understandable once you watch the series, though it's most likely they want to avoid the censorship of the but it can easily be fixed by camera techniques. Thirdly, the weird transition. You can see it phases to this woman's kimono or yukata, I don't know which one's which, creating a metaphor of something I don't know, but then all of a sudden, fire engulfs the screen and now you're viewing a location who knows where. Fourthly, rushed clips. You can see something happening around the characters for about 3 seconds at the pre-chorus, but then it becomes bright quickly that a normal person wouldn't be able to process it. You can see it's happening at a school. A scene that big is sure to be massive, but we can't even confirm if this was supposed to be an isekai anime because not even the first few episodes mentions that. Though I'm here to talk about anime openings and endings, not to review an anime. The fourth bad choreography in anime opening example is Noragami's Season 1's opening. Now I know what you're talking about. Now I know what you're talking about. What bad choreography was there in Noragami's first opening? There's a part where you see this character named Hiyori, where she tries to roundhouse kick but is stopped by Kofuku. It looks like it's trying to say that Hiyori wants to help the characters out, but the others wouldn't allow her to endanger herself. What's wrong with that? Maybe it's just me, but it looks like a scene where it feels uncomfortable to watch it over and over again. It feels awkward. It's like one of those hypnotizing songs that somehow got viral. Listening it to once is enough because it's not that good anyways. Does that make the opening bad? No. Noragami has some of the best openings out there. It's just that one scene that I wanted to talk about, since the chances for a person encountering a scene they don't like watching repeatedly is quite high. Now that we have talked about what makes a bad choreography in anime openings, what does a good choreography look like? Proper concept introductions, subtle touches, I'll get to that in a bit. Story and character oriented, music compatibility with its choreography and visuals, and any cinematography related directives. Let's talk about anime openings from Kyoto Animation. They never fail to introduce viewers what their adaptations are about. One look at it and you're already immersed by the animations narrating the stories and people. They really succeed in adding the sensation of understanding what they want us to feel or look at the characters. The themes they chose match the genre and vibe of the series too. Okay, What are subtle touches that I speak of? I don't know the word for it, but have you ever watched an anime opening evolve as the story progresses? Plastic Memories and Gakorashi are the best examples. Seeing the expression change as the character development deepens for the protagonist and the main heroine was such an amazing touch. While in Gakurashi, I haven't watched it yet, but what I know is that this is the anime that shocked the community in 2015. What seemingly looked like a cute school slice of life anime turned out to be a dark, gloomy, psychological something. I haven't watched the series yet. But what I can tell for sure that it has something to do with the plot. Its happy theme music is also part of its psychological tag. You can see as the anime opening's atmosphere darkens as each episode goes on. Even anime endings can pull that off, like No Game No Life for example, where Shiro's brother disappears from the series and it starts glitching the entire ending. Sora is nowhere to be seen and the music frequently distorts. Here are some examples of anime openings with good choreography. I'll use popular anime so it won't confuse the viewers. Don't worry, I won't be like Crunchyroll. Notable anime openings with good choreography are Tokyo Ghoul, One Punch Man, Violet Evergarden, Kakegurui, and Shingeki no Kyojin. Okay, now let's move on to the choice of music and its compatibility. I keep looking the other way. Firstly, I have a question. How do directors or music supervisors choose their music? Do they pick carefully or do they commission? If they were to pick music, then they really have to be careful or else they will have quite the opposite impact of what they wanted. If they were to commission, then the project or the series would be delayed. Take it from a composer. I myself would feel pressured if someone were to tell me to compose a music that's targeted or to a specific series of how a show feels like. It would be really stressful and sometimes you just don't get the results that you wanted because it really depends on the feeling. Well, for me at least, or for some of the composers out there, I'm sure that I'm not the only one. Hey, it's me from the future. I'm recording from my laptop using a Boya mic, hence the audio quality difference. I found a YouTube channel that has made really good points on anime openings. He also helped me answer how studios choose their music for anime openings. I would like to give this channel a shout out too, so credits to him.
For me, modern intros are very generic, with a generic rock or pop song to play during the opening, obviously promoting whatever band that signed a contract with them. It is not that I have a problem with this, but when you have every single modern anime do this, you can see the trend become oversaturated. But this makes me wonder, are intros even necessary anymore? Netflix and other online TV have learned to simplify the intros to a way that just gets straight to the show itself. The ones that still have intros make use of the intros themselves by making them really cool and visually interesting to watch.
Before I talk about the choice of music and its music compatibility, I must first explain to you about the song structure. It's because I would be using that factor to explain things. You can just watch my K-On! Bass cover video. I'll leave the link down in the description. Basically, what the song structure is about, in the music composition, there are sections. The opening, the intro, the first verse, the second verse, the pre-chorus, the chorus, and so on. Having an opening structure enables potential cinematic transitions, like how when a song starts playing, you'll be filled with anticipation and it creates a dramatic feeling as the show transitions to its opening or ending. Examples of anime openings and endings using opening structures as transitions are Hibike, Euphonium. As far as I remember, that's the only anime opening that I've ever seen using that technique. Well, that technique is commonly used on endings, so I'll give you some examples of anime endings that use that technique. Fairy Gone, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Bokutachi wa Benkyou ga Dekinai, Assassin's Pride first episode ending, and Love Life, School Idol Project, though the first 10 seconds were cut, and I'll explain that in a bit. No, I'll explain it right now. The opening structure from the full song wasn't even that long. Is it okay for an anime ending to do that? Well, yeah, there are openings and endings out there that are only 60 seconds. Usually an anime opening or ending is around 120 seconds. If it were the song from We Never Learn, the opening structure was quite long, so it enables a dramatic transition. It doesn't really have to be a dramatic transition. It can be like that Curb Your meme, where the music kicks in and you know what's about to happen. It can be something like that. Okay, now we can talk about choice of music. As long as it fits the story, characters, background, concept, etc., and a well-composed song, there's not really any problem to it. Choice of music is a really flexible factor. I haven't came across any studio that failed this part. Some choice of music would stand out because of how memeable it is, like Blend S, or satirical death metal, like Watamote, parodical type like Zombieland Saga, and Didn't I Say to Make My Abilities Average in the Next Life, having cute elements like Nisei Monogatari's opening and Kaguya-sama's second ending. Fun and catchy like Gabriel Dropout or Himoto Umaru-chan, or there are popular artists that sing the opening or ending, like Classroom of the Elite and Hisugi no Chaika. It goes on and on. Lastly, we're gonna talk about music compatibility, themes, and summary. I haven't actually talked about music compatibility yet, I apologize. I don't think I have to explain what summary is like since I've already talked about it at the beginning of this video. Plus, it's something that's pretty self-explanatory. I'll just give a quick expounding on themes and music compatibility. Themes should match genre and overall atmosphere of a series, which is compatible to its choice of music and plot, yada yada yada. Happy story, happy theme. Sad story, sad theme. If it's the other way around, then it's certainly a psychological anime. Okay, that probably wraps everything up. I hope I don't miss anything important or bring up facts that doesn't really matter in anime openings. I've watched anime for quite a long time. I've started watching animes at late December of 2014, and with my experience and knowledge, you can say I'm well informed enough to make a video on this. And I'm actually recording at midnight. If you can see the time. The recording is in Word, by the way. I hope this video helps you to understand how you should review or critique an anime or an ending. If you have any questions, please leave it down in the comment section below. I'll try my best to answer, though I can't promise you that I'll give you a good response. Hey, Resource, Michael here. It's me from the future. I forgot to talk about animation and art styles. Do they really matter? Not really. When it comes to animating, as long as it follows the rules of animation and has a reasonable amount of frames, it shouldn't really be a big of a deal. So far, I've seen an anime opening using a technique which involves lack of frames, yet it fits the scene perfectly, and that is copcraft. As for art styles, it shouldn't really matter. I know there are certain art styles for certain anime genres like shounen and shoujo, or other subcategories like chibi and CGI, but you shouldn't really look at it too much. It actually impacts the entire anime itself. I don't want to talk about it as I would go off topic. You can look at animation and art styles like a plate of a dish. A dirty plate can be seen as an anime with bad art. The plate having scratches and cracks can be seen as the animation having errors. If you're wondering why I'm not discussing about endings, the choreography, the summary, and so on, it's because I've already talked about it earlier in this video. Endings are less important than openings, as most of the viewers won't stick around to watch it, and that's sadly true. Let alone the unique previews and end cards some anime offers. There are even animes without endings, like Alice or Alice for example. In fact, there are even non-anime shows out there that don't have endings. It's either the studio decided not to add, or it's a small project, or any budget-related issues. Okay, my voice just changed. Okay, back to the past. If you've been following my channel, you will know that my video description is really important, where I feel every single part that I miss out there. So please keep a lookout on that. Anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe for more of my content and stay tuned. Bye. Man, I'm so not used to this.